What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel with Paradox the Rapper, your favorite DIY YouTube rapper. Here behind me I have a Mustang convertible that I'm doing a color change. So this episode is going to be about how to wrap your own Mustang at home if you have a convertible. But behind me right here I have the gray BMW that was on one of the previous episodes. He is finally back with a new carbon fiber hood. So I'll show you guys how I do this. But basically, we're just gonna do the hood without these vents. So these vents gonna be unwrapped and the rest of the hood is gonna be the same color. I see some kind of sanding done on the hood, so maybe the hood was previously damaged, but once you wrap it, you can't see it. So I'll include this with this car right here and kind of show you guys how that's done. So stay tuned. Before we continue on this, let's look at the BMW. It's been about a week or so. Everything looks kind of pretty good. He's going to point out everything that's wrong with it, and this is the time when we make adjustments. Of course, when you lay down a wrap, like I said before, you never know when it is going to be 100% on. So what you want to do is give it some time for adjustments, let them take it home, and then once you come back, you'll fix everything. So let's see, right down here I see a little bit of a lifting on this corner, so I'll fix that and clean it up. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna pull this in and let's do the hood. All right, so here we got the hood all set up. He wants it like that, where it's on the inside, so when you cut this knifeless tape, it will the wrap color will fold over this line. Similarly on this side, what you want to do is you have your leading cut edge right here, and then maybe some right here too. Then you just pull this once it's set. So I'll have to. This is up a little bit, so you want to make sure that it's stationary and it's not moving on you once you go lay it down. But here, there's some little bit of imperfection there. That's gonna show. So you want to hit that with some sandpaper. So I'll do that, and then we'll lay it down. He's got the Sabian, how do you say that? Sabon?
Sabon.
Sabon embossing that he's gonna do there. So that's gonna be great. Okay, so he's waiting for his car. That's why I don't know why it's May, but here's what the final cut looks like. You kind of have a cut going right there, exposing the carbon fiber hood where the vents are, but the rest of it is covered, matching the rest of the car. Down here, he's going to stick a new BMW symbol on, and I heated this down, so we're good to go here. Okay. That's about it for this one. He'll show me a 360 video at some point later on. Maybe at the shows I'll catch him. So let's do the Mustang. All right. Here we go. This looks so sick in the daylight, guys. Can't wait for you guys to see it. Okay, guys, time for material optimization. So here's how you save material by measuring correctly. So from here to here is 59 inches. Here to here is 33 inches. So a little less than 33. So what you could do is still split this side and that side with one piece that's 59 inches long by cutting it right down the 30-inch mark. if you keep the material kind of centered right here, you can stretch it about 2 inches down and then 2 inches up this way. And there's only a little corner here and just a little part here. So the littler parts, if you cut extra, you can stretch it. So once you have it as long as you need it to be, you can lay it on the hood. Make sure you don't cut the hood, and then just split this piece right down the middle at the 30-inch mark. You can use both halves to wrap both fenders. So this material didn't stretch as well as I thought it would. When you do too much, it does lose its glossy finish, so you have to be real careful. On a regular gloss wrap, you can stretch it about 2 inches on both sides. This is probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 1. Here you just have to tuck it in to the light with your little special tucking tool, and then you can cut it out. No need to remove the light. Okay, so here on the door, this has protective film over it, so you can squeegee it a little bit with the protective film and then peel it off so that it doesn't scratches. But what I did was I made a mistake of only putting 2 magnets, and then I went to pull it and I lifted my magnets off and it fell to the ground. You guys just saw the disaster happen on the time lapse. So what happened was I was pulling way too much back there to try to get this thing kind of like stretched out that way, and I pulled off my magnet and this whole thing kind of hit the ground. So here's the damage, but I think it's still repairable. I'll show you guys after I'm done with it. There's these nicks right here, which they're just folds in the wrap, and you can pretty much heat that out. Now if this was chrome, you cannot. If this was chrome, this whole piece is ruined. So this is just a color shift, and it's more delicate than regular wrap, but I think that's still salvageable. Here I got like particles that, even though I blew the ground, still stuck to it. And of course you got particles back here. So to fix this, all you gotta do is just get a really clean tack cloth or a towel, or your fingers, and then you just, it's not that sticky, so you can just brush it off. And then you can hit it with some water and then just scrape all that off. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So once I started cleaning this with soapy water and that clean rag, you can just wipe it and all the particles will fall off. What you want to do is just make sure that everything's gone before you lay it down again, and check it after. So I took this outside the next day and looked at it, and it looked fine. I don't see any bumps or any particles that are still on there. If there were, I would just simply redo this in a different piece, but you want to save material where you can. On this door, the wrap was kind of short, and I should have cut a longer piece, so I had a little bit of an issue with wrapping it all the way down to the bottom. So this took me a lot longer than expected. I ended up having to cut this out, and then finally making sure that I use some wrap tape at the bottom to seal it in and it doesn't go anywhere. So you're gonna use one big piece and split that in half at the 30-inch mark to do both quarter panels. It's only about 27 inches for the quarter panel, so it's not that fat, and you can comfortably use 30 inches to do both sides. On this back one right here on the passenger side, there's an antenna. So for the antenna, you want to poke a hole and make sure that you work around the antenna with no stretch until you have a perfect field, preferably on top, and then you can stretch around anywhere else you want, but that antenna is the focal point on this side. Once you have that good to go, you stretch towards the front of the car and back towards the tail light, squeegee, and then heat, and then cut. Here I measured out the front and back bumper, whatever the longest piece is, about 114 inches. Don't take my word for it, you measure it out yourself. Split that in half at the 30-inch mark, and then you use one piece for the front and one piece for the back, saving material. So this front bumper is pretty nasty. Don't get impatient, take your time and make sure that you work a little section at a time from the middle focal point all the way around to the edge. Here you just want to make sure that you cut along the light there so that you can have as much of that flap as you can, so it makes it all the way to the back corner. Here on the top light, similarly, you just want to tuck it in as much as possible, cut it off, and then down here tuck and cut as well. So we'll finish off that front bumper later. So on this door, what you want to do is, like the other side, take that nasty door handle off. This door handle sucks ass. If you're bringing your car without the door handle on, fantastic. I'll give you some money off. But you stretch it to the back and to the front. Make sure you have horizontal tension like always, and then pull down, squeegee, done. Make sure that you trim at the top with some leaves so that you can tuck it into the trim. I hope you guys are enjoying the voiceover segments. A lot of people like that. So here you want to use the air compressor, blow all the particles off of it before you pull the backing paper off, pull off your protective cover right there, and then you stretch it with horizontal tension to the front and to the back of the car. On this side, the quarter panel is a lot easier just because there's no antenna thing there. So on the other side, you guys kind of saw me do it, where what you got to do is focus on the area around the antenna, which is what I'm mentioning in the voiceover, and then making sure that that's good. On this side, all you have to do is make sure that this body line is flat and that you have a lot of tension going this way and that way, so that when you go to pull up on these wrinkles, look at that, they just kind of flatten out and don't give you a lot of vertical wrinkles. So if you heat this up a little bit and then you pull up, those vertical wrinkles will go away. If you didn't put enough tension going this way, as soon as you go to pull this, hella vertical wrinkles this way, and then you're gonna have a bunch of bunching problems. Over here on this part that goes down, you just have horizontal wrinkles, well, at least as you can, coming down to here. So this one's fine. All you have to do is reach in, make sure your hand's clean, and then just pop it out. You see that? Because you got horizontal wrinkles, once you pop it out, it will flatten out. And then over there, you can just pull down. Here, you can just pull down as well. So the gas cap, don't worry about it. Just do this. And then you want to cut against the gas cap, so you don't ruin the big piece. If you slip and cut the gas cap, that's fine. You can just rewrap the gas cap. It's a small piece with a scrap piece. Up here, when you are getting ready to cut, what you want to do is just set the set this line right here against the rubber. Okay, so you set the line, then you just take your squeegee, you place it like this, you cut on top of the squeegee against this top felt, and then you will have a leading edge that's perfect that you can tuck under. That's why I can do this without disassembling the car or taking any of the trimmings off. Over here, this is what I did. See that perfect tuck there? And I didn't have to take the door trimming off at all. simple. It's got a lot of wave stuff going on, so when you push it over to here, you kind of just have to use your hand and just work your palm into this down here. Once you tuck that in and then you heat it and it no longer pulls back, you're good to cut. Over here on this piece, I try to razor along this top edge here and then push it in, but because this bottom part bends in, it won't make it all the way up to the top in this one piece. So that's why I have to cut it out as a separate piece. Now, at this point in time, I do not know if the owner wants this in black. I think it looks good in black because the car is black and it kind of breaks up the color. I sent him a text, so I'm waiting for a response from him on what to do with this. So if he wants this wrapped, I would just run a piece of knifeless tape like from here all the way down here and up here, and then I would just wrap a whole piece right here up into this mark, and then I'll do this top part as a separate piece altogether. So a little bit complicated on this bumper just because this is so deep you can't push it in. Even if you try, it will pop out over time, so don't try it. All right, I'm gonna finish cutting this off and then do the trunk. So you kind of have to do a little bit of stretching in the corners there. When you're squeezing down the middle, you want to use some soap and water just so you don't scratch the hood, just because this is the one part that everyone sees. Work one little section at a time to each of the body lines, and then work the vents, and then stretch it out as you go. Okay guys, here it is. The hood is all done. These Mustang's hoods are quite a bitch to do. And now I already showed you guys how to do this while I was doing the time lapse through the voiceover, but let's get a closer look and see what the results are. So right here, this part is quite nasty. I had to like patiently set that line and then work my way around on these dips. Now my camera's coming in a little bit yellow. I don't know why, just because of the light, maybe because I'm Asian. But this is a very nice metallic color shifting, as you can see. And once you see it outside in the daylight, you're gonna be blown away. But here you have to kind of work into this dip, and then what I do is just cut a line right here so I can actually reach under and like fuck with it if I cinched it or whatever as I'm trying to push this in. And then all I have to do is just set this edge right here. So it's a little wrinkly right here, but all you gotta do is heat it up and then just kind of set the edge like that after you pull it back like that. So but what you want to do before any of that is you want to cut on this side. Bottom line is, anytime you want to cut on an edge where you're afraid of it pulling back and like leaving you short, you just want to tuck it in really good, and then you flip the other side of the squeegee over, and then you cut along the top edge of the squeegee. Then you have like a nice 1/8 of a millimeter lead on where you're cutting. So you just want to use this as a guide, go all the way around like that. And then if you cut too short on this little piece, that's fine, right? You got a fuck ton of material that you can just redo this. But if you cut too short on this big ass piece, you're gonna have to do it all over again. So yeah, basically you just work to each edge, and then you kind of, when you get to here, it's gonna be a whole bunch of bunching. You just pull this straight, and then you anchor this down, and then you pull that way and you pull this way. So this hood is a little bit wide, so that it's like almost 6 feet this way, and it's like right there at 5 feet this way. So you kind of have to do a little bit of pulling on the edges right here. Heat over here, and then you pull that way. And then on this side, you have to heat it a little bit up. You saw me on the time lapse, and then you pull it this way. You grab here, you grab down here, and you pull here, so, just so you make it to that, and you're good. Okay, back on time lapse. I'm gonna cut this out now that it's all good after I heat it up, and I'll show you what this looks like outside. Oh yeah, I have to do this as well. But there's a little seam right here. So 3 different pieces. Around so that we can have a better view at the details up close. If you're hating on my work, this is for you, where you can check out all the little intricate details that you guys like to pause the video on and criticize me for. So bottom line is, wrap will never be paint. Okay, get that through your guys' head. Never be paint, and there will always be some imperfections when you're wrapping a car. And that's why there's a period in which the customer needs to take it home, drive it around, bring it back in 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll make all the corrections. So don't sweat it if you see any imperfections that you see now. So I am not a professional wrap shop. I've never claimed to be, and I am not certified by anybody, especially 3M, Avery, or wherever the hell. So I am 100% YouTube certified. You guys see it. Scroll back into my videos, and you can see me wrap the Spider, which is over there, the first time in the cheap eBay wrap, and my progress from then until now. So if it makes you nervous that I'm wrapping your car in my own garage at home, then please go see a wrap shop, pay them $3,000, $4,000. They'll do this for you. But if you want a better deal, let me know. But let's get rolling here and check out this headlight thing first. So over here, I did this where I cut it off right here, and then this is a whole different piece on top. That way it will never pop up, and you see like a little bit of a seam right there. And if you run a seam along this edge, you'll never see it. Down here, you technically have to take the headlight off if it's like a white car, because look how deep that goes. But since this is a black car, I can cheat, and I just cut it along this top thing, and I can fold it into there. Now I could do this without taking the headlight off. You just do the same thing, and then you just lay a little piece in there, and you shove it in there until it covers the white, if this is a white one, and you won't ever see that anymore. Down here, I chose to leave this as it is because it's a black car. It's a nice little black accent. Nothing will ever hit this, and if the guy really wants me to cover that, I can. Just a little piece. But I like the way that looks. So here on this vent, you can see that I made it all the way in there, and spots like this might pop up after a little while, and then what you gotta do is just cut that off. So we're gonna see what it does in the sun. Over here, right there. And since that's all one piece, we're good. If this pops up back there, then I would probably make this as a whole separate piece with a seam right here, but it looks better that way. Hopefully it stays. Down here, this is all a separate piece. And right here, because it's a black car, once again, you can cheat and not have to take off this grill thing. If it's a white car, then you're gonna have to take off the grill or really cut a lot extra and then tuck it in there. Over here, this is the same. Okay, down there as well, down there. Okay, and similarly on this side like that. Okay, the hood. So this is what the hood looks like. Now that I'm all done, I ended up doing these vent things in separate pieces just because once you go to cut them, they're going to be too short and a little bit of black shows. So here, this is now good to go. Okay. The corners, you just fold it under and all around there. This window frame thing looks like that. This is my seam right there, so really can't see it. I gotta press all this down after it sits in the sun, and then all that is just like that there. Okay, this side, down here, that's the cut. It looks really good. Okay, and the mirror done in two pieces. You got one piece back here. There's a seam running along this top edge right there. Okay, I've sealed it off with a separate piece of wrap just so that everything stays. Down here, it's a little bit tough to make it under here, but you can, and then you just cut along this little mirror thing. For the mirrors, you heat, tuck, and then cut along this edge right here, and it should stay still. Otherwise, you might have to tape it down with some wrap tape. On here is the door handle. So you can see that there. On the door handle, you kind of have to practice doing door handles where you put no tension right here. You stretch it along this edge, and then you can just fold it over, and it won't pull back on you. Okay, down here on the quarter panel, we got where the antenna goes. You see how I did that there. If you follow my instructions, this should turn out fine because there is no tension here at all. Down here, you can fold this over and cut once you tuck it all in. So little stuff like that needs to be heated up, but the rest of it is good to go. Back bumper looking extra fine, and I did end up doing the bottom part like this because he wanted this in the same color. So there's a seam running right along this edge, which you can't even tell that it's there. Okay, and up here is a separate piece altogether. Okay, so that's that there. The trunk, we got the this piece was not removed. You can, but he didn't want me to because you might mess up on the 3M tape under there, and you have to get new 3M tape and all that stuff. So it's better to just do it if they don't want that taken off. So basically, I just cut a lot of lead, and then make sure this is all good before I cut it, and then this I stretch it back out a little bit just to make it a clean piece. Over here, this is the antenna. Pretty standard, really. Take that off, wrap it, put it back on. Here along these top edges, you can see how they're clean edges right there. Don't need to take all your trimmings off, guys. Just make sure you cut with enough lead so you can tuck it under. Okay, down here on the bumper, this little lip thing was a little hard to do, but once you set that there's no tension there, you heat it up, tuck it in, cut, you're good to go. This is this door handle here. Okay, looking good. And over here on this part, the mirror, same thing as the other side. And down here, this is popping up a little bit, but we'll fix that after I'm done with this video. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Mustang. Okay, so we got a lot going on in the yard. The VR4 is over at VRF Design. And yeah, I'm waiting for a starter on my 240. That should be coming in any day now, probably this next week. And this is up next, guys, so stay tuned. We're gonna start the wrap prep for Christian's rear-wheel drive WRX. Okay, there it is with the top down, looking gorgeous. There's lots going on back there, but this is gonna be one car that's leaving now that I'm done with it. When he picks it up tomorrow, I hope the owner loves it, and I'm sure he will because it looks great. So if you guys like this wrap and want to try it yourself, I encourage you to buy a roll and give it a go. If you give up, that's the only time when you will lose out on money. So use the code PARADOX with the capital P, it's case sensitive, at techwrap.com for 5% off on any roll that you want to pick and try. Thank you for making it to the end. I know this video is a little long, but if you found something useful and good information on this, when you're trying to wrap your own Mustang, leave me a comment, let me know. Christian's WRX is next up on the operating table, so stay tuned for that. Don't miss the next episode where I will show you how to wrap prep this properly, and we'll go over all the little damages that I'm gonna fix for him before it gets wrapped. So until next time, guys, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.